Welcome, everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com, and this is your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead, February 26th, Monday, through March 2nd, Friday. As March starts to roll in, is March going to come in like a lamb and go out like a lion, or come in like a lion and go out like a lamb? Let's go ahead and look at some of the stuff that came out on Friday after the bell, courtesy of the trade exchange. Just one of these market movers. Letter X, U.S. Steel popping as Trump said to be considering as much as 24% tariff on steel imports and also as much as 10% duty on aluminum. And that came out after hours on Friday. So you see letter X and AKS all popping. Cliffs also all popping and after hours on Friday. Once again, courtesy of the trade exchange. Berkshire Hathaway came out with his annual letter to shareholders. Largest holdings include Wells Fargo, Amex, Apple, Phillips 66, Southwest, and Coca-Cola. Acquisition drought, says Buffett. Will have opportunities to make very large purchases, but right now there's been a little bit of a drought as the market's been moving up so high. So he's not finding a lot of deals out there at the moment for Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. Some of your top insider purchases that came out on Friday after the bell, you had LGCY, MCHX, FN, NHI, and AAT. And that's just a few. Some news coming out from North Korea as the Olympics come to an end. Let's see, North Korea delegation says willing to talk to the U.S. North Korea says will regard any maritime blockade as an act of war. So some comments coming out this weekend for North Korea. Let's go ahead and get ready for the week ahead. As you can see here, we have the trade exchange calendar, really nifty calendar. You can click on these boxes here and you can get the earnings that are coming out before and after the bell on these. And then you can also click where it says the biotech in the purple there, my favorite color, purple. You can click on that and you can see some news coming out here on OBSV. All right, and phase 3 clinical trial announced that's going to happen on February 26th. Then you see there'll be some biotech news on VRTX, AERI, SRNE, OTIC. So some biotech news coming out. Let's go ahead and get into the economics of it all for this week. As you can see, on Monday we have some, normal new home sales coming out 10 o'clock on Monday. Tuesday we get durable goods at 8:30. Wholesale inventory 8:30. The big thing happening though on Tuesday is the new guy is about to start speaking. Jerome Powell, Fed speak. Jerome Powell will be talking on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. I believe this is the first time since he's taken over the chairmanship of the Fed. So at 10 o'clock, Jerome Powell will be speaking. And if you can't get enough of him on Tuesday, he'll be right back on Thursday for Fed speak. Same time, 10 o'clock on Thursday. So Mr. Powell coming out of hiding now as he is the new Fed chair. And let's see, the markets maybe have been testing him. Let's see what he has to say. This is going to be a big event. If you're an intraday trader, you must be aware at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, he will be speaking. So we could get some volatility in the markets that day for sure. All right. And then as we proceed, just pretty much the basic economic information coming out for the rest of the week. But like I said, the Fed speak is the most important thing for the week coming up. Once again, courtesy of the trade exchange, this really nifty calendar. I'll put this down in the description link for you, and then you can have a copy of that for the week ahead. Let's go ahead and look at some earnings coming out. Earnings season is not over, and some lower tier companies coming out, but some bigger names also coming out. We have Fitbit coming out. Fitbit has been getting slammed. You never know. Maybe they'll come in with some decent earnings and reverse the trend on that stock that's been moving down. Macy's is before the open on Tuesday, so big earnings report there for Macy's. Toll Brothers, a home builder, Lumber Liquidators, which, down on that, on the news that their lumbered floors are, hurting folks with the chemicals and whatnot. So let's see if they can recover. Symbol LL there for Lumber Liquidators. Tuesday before the open. AutoZone will be reporting. Square reporting after the close on Tuesday. Priceline, Weight Watchers, Acadia will be reporting. Frontier, Papa John's, Etsy will be reporting. Workday also reporting Tuesday. Valiant, VRX, symbol there. Lowe's before the open. TJX, Valet will be reporting. Also, who else? Office Depot, Salesforce, CRM, symbol there. Monster Beverage, MNST, Mylan Labs, all big companies reporting. Best Buy on Thursday for retail. Kohl's, another retail name. AMC, TD Bank will be reporting. U.S. Concrete, are they going to build that wall or not? USCR, symbol there. So we'll see how that one reports. Barnes & Nobles, Nutanix, NTNX will be reporting. VMware, Splunk will be reporting. Gap Incorporated, JCPenney, JD.com, the one associated with Walmart, Revlon. So a lot of big earnings coming up for the week ahead. This courtesy of Earnings Whispers. Let's go ahead and get into some of the best stocks for the week. First one up is Mozy, was up 38% for the week, MOSY. That'll be on my radar for the week ahead, by the way. NIHD, another stock that popped up 78%. 78% for the week on NIHD. Big pop there on that name. VICR, another one for best of the week, up 44%. VYGR, also a nice gainer, up 50% for the week. AMAG, a nice pop in that name, up 10% for the week. ANTH, which will be on the radar next week, up 40% for the week on ANTH. OREX, big pop in this name, up 44%. Sedge had a great week. One of the strongest solars out there right now, Israeli company Sedge, up 9% for the week. Buffalo was a takeout by GIS. So General Mills taking out Buffalo. So Buffalo popping 12% as they're back in the pet food product business for General Mills. Another one that did really good this week was our LGCY, up 47% for the week. MYSZ making a strong comeback this week, up 40%. MYSZ. QUAD, a big pop this week, up 44%. Fate had a really nice week, up 44 or 45%, excuse me. GDDY, a really nice week. GoDaddy, after their earnings report, up 10% for the week. WBAI, a nice pop, up 10% for the week. MULE, a nice gainer this week, up 19%. AVP, Avon Products. Now, who is using Avon Products? Anyway, up 8% for the week. TTD, after their earnings, a big pop in TTD, up 24%. SAIL, having a nice gain this week, up 27%. Software company there. And MOMO, a big pop in that name, up 16%. CAR coming in after their earnings, up 18% for the week. PLNT also gaining for the week, up 13% for the week. And that's some of your best stocks for the week. And now some of your worst stocks for the week. Some of your worst stocks for the week will start out with General Mills after they made that purchase of Buffalo, getting into the pet food business, down 7% for the week. A riot just continuing to move down 40% as this blockchain Bitcoin stock was highlighted on CNBC. So Riot taking another hit this week, down 40%. UBNT, Citron is after this one. UBNT down 24% on this name. SPTN also taking a hit this week, down 27%. ADMS down 24% for the week. EXAS, they had earnings this week, didn't help the stock at all, down 14% for the week. Letter W, Wayfair, after cruising along for a while, taking a big hit here on Wayfair, down 22% for the week. Ryder Systems down 12% for the week. GWPH down for the week 12% as their product didn't meet the endpoints as expected, down 12% for the week on GWPH. By the way, GWPH is one of the holdings in the ETF, Harvest ETF, the marijuana ETF that trades on the stock exchange, the NYSE. That was down 4% this week after GWPH got clobbered, down 12% for the week. OLED, after their earnings, took a hit, down 20% for the week. Walmart had earnings in the stock, down 10% for the week. Silica, after their earnings, stock took a 14% tumble. Mark going down 11% for the week. DCIX, a shipper, down 33% for the week on that shipper. APRI, big hit there, down 68% for the week. MDXG, another one taking a shellacking, down 49% for the week. And then lastly, coming in, down 16% for the week. Mara, another one of those blockchain stocks, taking a hit this week, down 16% on Mara. So that is some of your worst stocks for the week. Let's look at some biotechs that in this first one, VYGR moved up. They announced Tuesday a partnership deal with AbbVie. Just wanted to get that news out there. So that was VYGR. Another one that had a partnership this week was SGMO. They closed up this week, Guild and Company. They're doing a partnership with Kite. Guild company, so SGMO moving up this week on that. ADMS took a hit this week. ADMS, another biotech name. This share slumped Tuesday following news that privately run Osmotic Pharmaceuticals received FDA approval for treatment of Parkinson's disease. So that hurt ADMS. Like we mentioned previously in the video, the endpoints of GWPH, which focused on seizures, did not meet its primary endpoint. So that took a big slump on GWPH. So just going through some of these biotech names for you. Also, we had KMPH. KMPH. This news hit announced during market hours that the FDA approved its new drug application. All right, so they got approval from the FDA on their new drug application, and made the stock very volatile, but definitely one to watch going into next week. So we'll have a full stocks to watch video coming out after this. Let's get ready for the week ahead. So that's a few biotechs that were moving up. Some other ones, let's see if there was any others. PBYI, also a biotech name, announced that the Committee for Medicine Products for Human Use of the European Medicines Agency had adopted a negative opinion. So PBYI down and grinding down from last week. BLCM, let's give you that one for a biotech name, announced the FDA outlined criteria for lifting the clinical hold of trials Belsium will be required to implement revisions to the trial protocols. All right, so not much reaction there, but BLCM, a little bit of news. And then 10X had some news, and that stock dropped, announced a reverse stock split of its shares of common at a ratio of 1 for 20. 10X is going to trade the reverse split adjusted by based price on Monday, February 26th. So reverse split going on here. They'll be trading that 1 for 20 reverse split on Monday, February 26th. And then last one is MNK. All right, MNK announced the FDA set a PDUFA date of August 22nd. All right, so MNK has a PDUFA date of August 22nd, 2018. So that's your little bio roundup. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some markets. Here's the SPY. After a choppy week, the SPY, the bulls really showed up on Friday towards the end of the day. So after this choppy kind of week, beautiful candle here on the SPY. Nice recovery by the bulls. This blue line you see here, I'm kind of just highlighting the 50 SMA on this daily chart here of the SPY. So we're back above the 5 EMA, back above the 50 SMA, and trying to get over those, this recent high here of about 275. So watch that on the SPY. We also have this midpoint area that held last week, that 270 area, 2700 on the SPX. But nice hold here by the bulls. We said if you took, the top of this candle and the bottom of this candle, you kind of come up with this midpoint of 270 area, and the bulls, defended that area, and then the bears just couldn't break it down, so moved up nicely on Friday. And as you can see down here, I'm not a big RSI user, but we are back over that 50 line on the RSI. Let's see, like I said, with Jerome Powell, how the week ahead is going to shape up with his comments, and see what the market does. Let's see if we can get some follow through and through that 275 on the SPY. We'll look at the IBB also. Nice recovery here by the bulls. Still unable to get over the 20 SMA, but also showing a little bit of a pop here above the 50 on the RSI 14 there. Here's the weekly, trying to get back over the 10 SMA for the IBB. The SPY also clearing the 10 SMA right now on the weekly chart. Let's look at the Qs. They're well ahead of the 10 SMA, coming up to that 170 area. They've been holding the 20 SMA on the weekly chart. Let's look at it on the daily chart. We're back above all these fast moving averages, above the 50 SMA. Everything looks really good in the QQQ. Those bigger names like Amazon, the bears just cannot bring these down, cannot break them down. You see Amazon still riding this 5 EMA here on Amazon, and Google, Google also holding and riding this 5 EMA back above the 20 for Google. Tesla making a nice comeback back above the 200 SMA here on Tesla, back above the 50 SMA. We do have that 360 number coming up ahead, so we'll see. We're a little bit of ways from that, but back above all the fast moving averages. If we look at it on my blue chart, the weekly chart, we're back above the 10 SMA here on the weekly chart for Tesla. So good strength there. Facebook making a nice recovery, getting back over the 10 SMA on the weekly. If we look at it on the daily, we talked about how we bounced off the 200. Every time Facebook looks like it's going to break down, they come in, the buyers come in, the cavalry comes in and moves it up, and they did the same thing here. There was a little bit of a threat below the 10 SMA. We held this 150, this 175 area, and now here we are back above, all those fast moving averages and the 50 SMA here on Facebook. Netflix also just riding that 5 EMA as it stays very strong for Netflix. If we look at it on the weekly chart, well above the 10 SMA. And then not to forget Nvidia, but just pushing up along here, riding above the 10 SMA on the weekly chart, holding above the 10, the 20, up above the 50, and holding above the 5 EMA. If we look at this on a quarterly chart for Nvidia, and I'm not just picking on NVIDIA. There's a lot of stocks out there like this, but very stretched. If you look at it on the quarterly chart, but doesn't seem to matter right now with the buying in NVIDIA and some of the semi names. Speaking of the semi names, we had the SMH, nice recovery here in the SMH. Intel making a strong recovery on Friday, getting a nice push up. TXN, Texas Instruments, starting to make a nice comeback here, trying to get back over the 50 SMA. SWKS in the semi space, also a nice recovery from that 100 area all the way back up. And if we look at it on the weekly chart now, we see that it's nicely above the 50 SMA on the weekly, and nicely above the 10 SMA on the weekly also for SWKS. Let's go ahead and look at the VIX. And see what happened to volatility. As you can see, we're back below this 20 spot here and moving down after popping up to over 50 on the VIX that week of that heavy volatility. And now we're kind of slowly, the air is coming out of the fear gauge here, and volatility now getting below 20. We had been at 9. I don't know if we'll get that low again, but definitely some of the air coming out of the VIX here, so that's a good sign for the bulls. Let's go ahead and look at oil, one of the sectors that makes up a big part of the S&P, and here's USO. Nice recovery here off of 1150 and the 100 SMA, holding above the 20 SMA now. Nice recovery. If you want to look at oil itself, light sweet crude, nice pop. Same thing, recovering off the 100 SMA, moving up nicely. We'll look at it on the weekly, trying to get back over the 10 SMA here on oil, trading at around 63, 64 a barrel. We held the lows back here in the 20, around that $58 a barrel number, and we are back above, $62 a barrel now for oil. Some of the names in there are, Fang. Nice pop here on Fang. Saw Schlumberger, trying to come up off of this almost a double bottom here on Schlumberger. Halliburton also turning the corner here. Rig also turning the corner here. OIH itself, the oil services sector ETF, still with some work to do, still below the 200 SMA here on OIH, but is starting to turn back up a little bit in some of these oil names. And then, big names like ExxonMobil, beaten down, really trashed here, trying to turn back up. CVX also trying to turn back up, but still a lot of work to do in some of those bigger oil names. Let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and we'll go through some names in that. You see we're starting to get back over we're back over that 25,000 mark. That's the first thing. We're holding above the 10, getting back over the 20 SMA. The RSI, if you're into the RSI, poking its head back above 50 here, my 50 white line here on that. And if we look at it on the weekly, still some work to do to try to get over that 10 SMA on the weekly, which is about 25,350 on the weekly chart for the Dow Jones 30. Let's look at some of the names in there, like Goldman Sachs turning back up, Caterpillar turning back up, Boeing, still staying strong, riding the 5 EMA. Home Depot, which had earnings last week, took a little bit of a move down here, but holding above the 100 SMA. They're starting to turn that one back up. Disney also giving a nice pop on Friday, recovering and back above some of the fast moving averages here on Disney. GE just cannot get going. GE still in that sliding mood. Microsoft turning up nicely, moving up nicely. Cisco, that's a Dow component, after their earnings gap up, holding that gap up area after the earnings, holding above the 10. So some strength coming in there. Intel we went over already. Nike looking very very good. We're actually long this in the service at Zozo Stockwatch. We're already long this name, so let's hope we get some nice continuation in Nike and names like Visa turning back up, MasterCard not in the Dow 30, but whenever I look at Visa, I look at MasterCard moving up nicely. And then Walmart, which got hit by earnings, still, holding above 90, holding above the 150. The earnings weren't too bad in Walmart. Maybe just some of their guidance going forward and, their online sales, I guess, not coming up to what investors had expected. But that's quite a big move down here from 110 all the way down to 90. So Walmart, you might want to keep that on your radar. JD, which is attached with Walmart, they have earnings coming out next week. JD.com. Walmart has a percentage stake in this company. Moving up, holding above the 5 EMA. Not a Dow component, but connected with Walmart. Pfizer still below the 50 SMA. And we'll look at Merck. We'll make that the last Dow component for the Dow, and that stock, trying to hold 54, but very weak right now. And actually, I lied. McDonald's will be the last one. Let's take a look at McDonald's holding this 155 area, starting to turn back up. Did get over the 200 SMA now for McDonald's, but a lot of work to do up ahead. They held the 50 SMA basically on McDonald's on the weekly chart. So that's Mickey D's and some of your Dow stock. So let's look at some odds and ends ETFs. First up, we'll look at HACK, the cybersecurity ETF, holding up very strong there. TAN holding above the 5 EMA. We'll take a look at First Solar that had earnings last week. That stock taking a move down here, but the strongest, like I said, in the solar sector right now is this Sedge Israeli company. So TAN, holding above the 5, not because of First Solar. It looks like, Sedge is the leader in the solar sector right now. Some other things that I wanted to look at as far as ETFs, we'll take a look at the TLT, maybe trying to bounce here a little bit, trying to get back over the 10 SMA on the TLT. The TNX, the bond here, we came up near that 3% area. Now maybe trying to, roll back over a little bit. So maybe some of the air will come out of interest rates. We'll see. It's going to depend on Jerome Powell. He's talking Tuesday at 10 o'clock. UUP, the dollar, trying to firm up here a little bit, kind of a double bottom here, triple bottom on UUP, but still a lot of work to do, still below the 50 SMA on the dollar. So, we'll see if that wants to continue to recover in the dollar. Uh, some other ETFs we'll take a quick look at. We'll look at the ag names, DBA, agricultural, moving up, but still below the 200 SMA. NTR, that's the new potash company. NTR, CF, moving up nicely. MOS, moving up nicely. IPI, a small little name, trying to get over 4, trying to get over the 50 SMA on this small name. Let's see, what's another one? CAG, Conagra Brands, ADM, Archer Daniel Midlands, trying to get up back over, maybe this 43 area. So that's some of the ag names. Some other ETFs that I wanted to look at. Light, the lithium ETF. So far, not much going on there. We also look at BOTS. Right, this is the artificial intelligence ETF, trying to get back over the 50 SMA. And then we'll take a look at, Robo. All right, this will be Robo automation index, very strong, rolled over, a cheaper way to kind of play NVIDIA here in Robo. So that one trying to get back over the 20 SMA on Robo. And then lastly, MJ. If anybody knows anything about this Harvest ETF, it's the I guess it has like a lot of the over-the-counter marijuana stocks in it, but I can't find out. Bloomberg did an article saying that MJ, this was going to stop trading, and I haven't seen anything else about that. But I think this is a great ETF. In Canada, MMJ.TO, we have this ETF. And right now, pulling back, but MJ is the one in the United States, but I don't know if they're going to discontinue trading. If anybody knows, throw it in the comments down below in this video. So that's MJ. The social media ETF back over the five. Names like Twitter, and Facebook, Twitter holding up very well. Facebook making a nice recovery. Snap after that tweet out this week took a little bit of a hit here. On Snap, so that one after the big pop up after their earnings, pulling back a little bit for Snap. So that's kind of your social media ETFs. And just a few names we'll look at. Priceline, another market leader, holding up well, back over the 50. Looks like it's trying to get back over this resistance area. Forgot to mention it earlier. And we'll just take a quick look at some airlines and home builders. All right, so here's American Airlines trying to recover. Delta Airlines, also LUV. Not as well as the other ones. JetBlue. Trying to get back over the 50 SMA. Some other names in the transport, FedEx bouncing, UPS, that one's still kind of sliding, trying to recover. The IYT itself, the transport, still below the 50 SMA here. We'll look at it on the weekly, still, well below the 10 SMA for the IYT. So if you're a Dow theorist, you need the transports to be strong in order for the Dow to be strong. I don't know if that still pertains to, the times we live in, but that's an old saying, I guess. And then some of the banks, JP Morgan holding up well, XLF starting to turn back up, letter C turning back up, Bank America also turning back up. All right, so that's just some of the sectors and stocks that are moving this week. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is the Let's Get Ready for video. And then I'll be coming out shortly with stocks to watch video. That will be the next video I do. All right, so everybody have a great week trading. Remember, Jerome Powell speaking on Tuesday at 10 o'clock. That should be big for the market. So make sure, you're at your seat if you're a trader, or if you have any kind of recent swing trades, be around if you can around 10 o'clock Eastern time Tuesday for Jerome Powell. All right, everybody have a great weekend, and I'll be back with the stocks to watch list. Please hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying these videos, and also you can share them out there on social media, and also hit that thumbs up and like button. All right, and if you're new to the video channel, YouTube channel, give us a subscribe. All right, have a great weekend. Back with stocks to watch in a